AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Rob Thompson. Carl Schoening. Halftime.
Halftime. Some people just laid off the field. You know, sometimes you're so tied up in the first half, getting ready for the next, you just got to stay on the field and gather things together.
Got to delay a game on Carl Schoening.
There's no such thing as delay of halftime. It's only delay of game. Some of us rush in and grab our juice boxes and get the best seat next to the chalkboard. Others heading to the bathroom. Others getting themselves something to drink, relieving themselves, maybe finding a specific coach.
No orange slices.
No orange slices if you get there late. Welcome aboard here on Halftime. He is Carl Schoening, and he's just about to be ready to go.
Sooner or later.
I'm here.
There he is.
I finally got on. I'm living in Friday, so I was trying to log into the StreamYard, and
don't forget you show up. You got to work tomorrow morning.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Otherwise, they're calling you, dragging you out of bed.
James is already up, man. James is already working out by the blessed AM.
I was looking for the StreamYard, and I was looking for 8:24 and today's, or 9:24, and today's September 23rd. Oh my goodness!
See, you were already thinking Friday again.
Don't forget you got to work tomorrow, man.
How do I forget Thursday night football coming up, man? I gotta remember that kind of stuff. You're decked out in Texans gear.
It's game day.
It is game day. A game day that you hope to lose as a Texans fan.
Game day, bala, game day.
I understand that. Thank you all for joining us on San Antonio Sports Star. Any way you can get a hold of us, the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines. I want to hear your voice. 210-656-3776. You can hit us up on Facebook StreamYard, the YouTube StreamYard. Jonathan C. already commenting in. James really wearing the Texans hoodie like Bill Belichick. Yeah, I like the cutoff sleeves. I couldn't pull it off, but I like your cutoff sleeves.
Oh, they're not cut off. This is the way it's manufactured. This is a practice hoodie.
Isn't that still what you call it? A practice hoodie? Oh,
it's a sleeveless hoodie.
It's a sleeveless hoodie. You don't call it cutoff.
It's not because it's not cut.
But there's no sleeves.
I'm aware.
This is the New England influence on the Texans. It starts at the top, and it works its way down. You're wearing the cutoff hoodie. Yes, it's not a Belichickian thing, but it is, in fact, a Belichickian thing. It's even red, white, and blue.
I liked your little Emperor Palpatine, the Emperor from Star Wars hood over. Yes, now you must join the dark side.
What's the dude's name from the Texans that's brought all this cutoff hoodie sleeves and
Jack Easterby, Nick Caserio. Which way do you want to go with it?
Let's not get into a bashing situation. There
Bill
could be
O'Brien, Romeo Cornell.
You mean the offensive coordinator for the
Alabama Crimson?
Alabama Crimson Tide? That guy. Who are they playing this weekend? Doesn't matter. They're not going to lose.
So, I do want to rehash here that we have James Pledger, a notorious one of the dozen Texans fans in San Antonio.
Notorious? Wow, what did I do?
You're a notorious Texans fan. And we go back to this. You want them to finish the season 1-16, correct?
He wanted
yeah.
But they stumbled out of the block and got a win.
1-16, 2-15. I'm okay with any of that.
The sad thing is
they're going to fall ass backwards into 5-6 wins.
Might, because their division just sucks. But on top of that, we're 3 weeks into the NFL or NCAA season, and the Texans need a lot, but there's not a stud in college so far. There's nobody that everybody. Remember, we're tanking for Tua and tanking for Trevor. There was always a goal. Like if we suck, at least that guy, we have a chance. I don't know who that guy is in college this year. I know Thibodeau is supposed to be great out of Oregon, but for 2 consecutive games when he was going to be on, I didn't get to see him play, so I don't know.
Tank for Thibodeau. Be crappy for Carson. Carson Strong.
And he is
Nevada quarterback.
Oh.
He's going to make a Trey Lance, Carson Wentz meteoric rise throughout the season. Okay. Just watch. Much like Zach Wilson and Trey Lance did last year.
I'll tell you, I had never heard of Zach Wilson, quite frankly, until the beginning of last season.
You're welcome.
So to your point, though, obviously, there's no quarterback to tank for. I think there's plenty of nice additional pieces on either side of the ball that are not the quarterback position. But with what's going on with Deshaun Watson, everybody wants to kind of find the next Texans quarterback. What are the odds it's Davis Mills? What do you think about that, Pledge? You know Mills better than anybody at this point.
I mean, it could be. They also could go full David Carr and break him within the first 3 games that he plays. This is a kid that's played 15 games since coming out at Stanford. And let's face it, he now has to play the first, second, and third ranked defenses in the NFL in consecutive weeks in that order. And, on top of that, he's going to be without Nico Collins and Danny Amendola at receiver already, as they're hurt. I mean, he could be broken before he even gets a chance, really, because he's playing this defense also on a short week now.
That's understandable. Well, there's something that I've noticed with Drake and his girlfriends. They realize after Drake, it's time to get serious. So Roz Golden Woode, if you know her from TNT, she got married after a cup of coffee with Drake. She went to, I think, the NBA award show with Drake, and then she got married. And then Serena, she got married after Drake.
Serena dated Drake?
Yeah, for a minute. And then J-Lo, she got married to A-Rod. We know how that ends, but she got serious again. Now she's with Ben Affleck. She's trying. So
she doubled back on that one.
Do teams get serious with their next quarterback after Tyrod Taylor? Because Tyrod Taylor has lost the starting job to a rookie quarterback on each of his previous 3 teams. He was benched for Peterman in Buffalo. He was injured for Cleveland with Baker Mayfield keeping the job. And he had a punctured lung with the Chargers, and Justin Herbert comes in. So is this where his career is? You're like, we like Tyrod Taylor enough, but we realize we want to get the next guy up now, and we're pretty sure that the next guy will be the guy, maybe the one after that one.
I'm really glad that you brought up he was benched for Peterman, because that kind of feels like where this is headed today.
It's more Peterson than it's Baker, huh?
Wait a minute. I don't understand the fear here. You're going to have to find out whether he can play. Obviously, you didn't plan on it being right now. But what if your goal is 1-16? Isn't the answer Davis Mills?
Sure.
So I get the concern, but I have a feeling that he's going to play better than anybody expects.
As a humanitarian, I want what's best for him. And for him, it might have been like, say, week 8 after he's had time to, get used to the NFL against maybe an easier stretch coming off of a bye week where you have plenty of time to prepare for an opponent. He's not getting any of those things. He's being thrown feet first into the fire. I don't know that it's going to go well. So for me and my aspirations of what I want the team to be this year, yeah, it's great. For him as a person, not sure this is the best situation for him to be thrown into.
There is the number 1 defense in the NFL thing. There is that.
And they're not going to be able to stop the dynamic duo of Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore. Those two have combined for 210, just under 211 yards from scrimmage since 2018, the most by any current teammate duo in the NFL with a minimum of 20 games. So, yeah, those averages are not really looking good as not too bad defensively on passing. I want to say coming into this game, Houston is 8th in passing yards per game. So their pass defense isn't bad, but they're going to have their hands full with the run defense.
They're losing. If they're within, seriously, well, the Cowboys had I'm not for the, kiss your sister, we almost won kind of stuff. But I think if the Texans end up within 2 touchdowns tonight, I think that's home field advantage playing sway. I think you'd be quite happy. And the fact of the matter is, it's not like the Carolina offense is so devastating you have to do a lot that it's going to be impossible to stop. I mean, you can let McCaffrey have all he wants. Nobody else gets to eat. I think you're in the game. I just don't think that, given the injuries on that defense, there's going to be anything to kind of slow them down. But it's the Texans on Thursday night. This is what we are used to on Thursday night. Only thing we have different this year is they don't have funny uniforms, not wearing highlighters or anything like that.
Well, the Panthers, I do miss Color Rush. I thought that was a fun little thing just to tune in and be like, oh, so that's what's going on in this bad game. They get to look like they're all red. Do you remember the Texans all red Color Rush jerseys? Those are actually pretty cool.
Oh, come on.
No?
Way too much red.
Too much red?
The all red's the better look than the blue with the solid red number look that they had. That was...
Oh yeah, that was too much. Too much navy. Well, it's all about controlling the clock for the Panthers. They're not a quick strike, but they are second in the NFL in terms of possession per game with 34 minutes and 56 seconds per game, and that plays into that McCaffrey and DJ Moore 211 yards per game from scrimmage. So we're probably not going to see the highest scoring of games this evening. So maybe Texans can keep it close. What say you, Pledge? Is there a line? I'll double check the line, but do you think Vegas is actually going to be favorable in saying that the Texans keep it close when you can get tickets for $16 just to get in the door?
I mean, I may have to leave early and drive to Houston.
You should. Think about the opportunity that you have as an NFL fan. You're sitting in San Antonio 3 hours away for $15 in gas and a $16 ticket and $20 to park. You can go in and watch an NFL game tonight. This is unheard of. It is more expensive to go get a double Whataburger than it is to walk in and get a ticket to the to the Texans.
I will say this, and it's what most of Houston is doing, which is why tickets are as cheap as they are. They're making a statement against Jack Easterby. They're making a statement against the way the organization is being
that's
run.
a 3-year-old throwing a tantrum in the middle of the grocery store. You're not going to get what you want, and you're not going to get Jack Easterby fired.
That's fine, but they're all making a point, and that point is being heard loudly because the wait list to get on the season ticket list, to get into season tickets, was over 200,000 deep. Was. They are now cold calling people trying to get them to buy season tickets. The fans are making their voices loud and clear how they feel about the direction of this organization finally, because they've suffered through 2 decades worth of futility for the most part.
You know, you're in your sawed off hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
Carl's in his Spurs swag, which, by the way, I haven't even seen this stuff before. He's got access to Spurs gear that I've never even seen.
That's
an old one.
Yeah, this is kind of old, but it's Adidas. And my dad has like 20 years worth of stuff from the Spurs that I just steal out of his closet. In fact, sometimes I forget what I steal and I grab it and it's like, oh, right, I took this from him.
Well, last night when we were out and about, I told Carl, put on some stretchy stuff. We're going to go see some wrestlers. And we went and saw Strictly Business. Well, we saw the guys at the Dog Pound Dojo over off on Bandera. They're putting on a wrestling match over at Woodlawn on Saturday. Strictly Business. It'll be a lot of fun. Have you ever been around wrestlers like that, Carl?
No, that was the first time, because I'm not entertainment or amateur wrestling fan. It's not something that I've ever done
grow
before.
Up watching it?
No, never even watched the WWE Raw.
Now, was this wrestling or what they consider wrestling?
Define both, and I'll tell you which one it was.
Well, wrestling, of course, the Olympic sport.
No, we're
wrestling.
No, this is straight up
what you would see on TV on Monday nights, or
it's wrestling.
It's wrestling.
Don't take away the athleticism.
Oh, I'm not.
Okay.
Oh no, that was I'm sore just by watching last night. You could hear them hitting that canvas. It was a fast-paced workout. These guys are there for 3 hours, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, preparing for their shows. And we all know that these things are predetermined entertainment, but there's some real athleticism there where they have to obviously make their own bones based off of how they perform these athletic feats. They get finishing moves. They get these opportunities to be flung off of the ring, and then they leapfrog, and they were practicing their leapfrogs, and I was really impressed. There were some guys just straight hurdling the oncoming traffic because there were guys flinging off of the ring, and then I would say almost a full sprint. They were jumping over guys full sprint within seconds of hitting the floor. It was really impressive. I don't know how to explain what we saw, but I did get a lot of video, and you'll be able to catch that on our social media at some point soon.
You know, one of the things I took away was of any bit of entertainment, whether it's athletic or entertainment for TV or anything else like that, to become one of those guys, there's a long kind of drawn out process. And to become a wrestler in the broadest sense seems like a quicker line from A to B. If you got, if you're athletic and you can just show up at the Dog Pound Dojo and they'll teach you the basics. You'll learn how to do the moves and learn how to choreograph and do all that. I was really impressed with the group of people that were there. The 20 types, and they were all different types. Male, female, young. Oh, there was a 60-year-old wrestler in there running around doing stuff I couldn't even imagine doing. I was just impressed with everybody out there mimicking what they've seen, but also doing what they've seen. And you think you can go play basketball till you go play and you're like, man, I'm not even close. I don't look like that guy. You can look like a wrestler. You can do the moves and you can hit the ground and make the noise and put guys in arm bars. I had the best time watching these guys because they had as much fun practicing as they're going to have when they actually go out and get it. It's kind of a calling.
It seems like something that once you give it a shot or two, you might get addicted. There's a little adrenaline rush that you have to feel flinging somebody to the canvas and then also being flung to the canvas. And yeah, those guys, it's not fake. There's nothing fake about that. And yeah, there's some pain that they had to finish through too. I could tell that you have to get a little bit of pain tolerance, and there's some life lessons that could be taught in that kind of training session that's more than just wrestling. Wrestling? Did I say it right? Wrestling.
We'll wrestle you some headlines. One of the things we want to make sure you're as completely informed as possible. The SA Sports Star is your sports outlet here in San Antonio. Carl's got them collated. Carl, inform our listeners.
Carl's Countdown.
Headline 2, the Cleveland Browns wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. is getting closer to return and says, we'll see if I play Sunday.
What was the line on Baker and Odell was, you keep trying to feed OBJ. You keep trying to feed him at the expense of Jarvis Landry, at the expense of whoever else. And as he's been gone, there hasn't been the complaint about Baker overfeeding Odell, but they just lost Jarvis Landry, so timing couldn't be any better. I think that maybe that narrative will go away.
Yeah, Jarvis Landry is on injured reserve because of an MCL strain, but Baker Mayfield's completion percentage to Odell Beckham Jr. is at a whopping 55%. And that's not what you want from somebody who you expect to have the most chemistry with.
And I think a lot of times it's not Odell's fault. It's Baker trying to feed him when he's not open, trying to get it through a little window just because we know what Odell's capable of once the ball is in his hands. So I think him being away kind of opened his eyes, or at least maybe took away the narrative that he was trying to force feed somebody. And if he's not there, obviously Baker was spreading the ball. They're better than they were. And as we're going to talk about all season long, Baker's in a money year. Pay me. So getting one of your guys back couldn't hurt, especially this weekend. They need a good win.
Headline 1, New England Patriots coach Bill Belichick never evolved as Tom Brady aged. Trainer Alex Guerrero says the quote is, it was like Bill never really, I think his emotions or feelings evolved with age. As Tom got into his late 30s and early 40s, I think Bill was still trying to treat him like that 20-year-old kid that he drafted, and all of the players, I think, realized Tom was different. He's older, so he should be treated differently, and all the players, none of them would have cared that he was treated differently.
Alex Guerrero is TB12. That's him. He's the guy with Tom's trainer and behind all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Alex, you got to be real careful. You sound like his girlfriend. You know
well,
what I mean?
If you're a personal trainer to Tom Brady, sound like his girlfriend, so you stay his girlfriend.
Well, you sound like there is that personal relationship that I don't think you're viewing the situation that he was in with the Patriots through Tom Brady's glasses. And maybe Tom felt that way. But you're not going to tell me Bill Belichick was treating Tom Brady after their 4th Super Bowl like an 18 or a 22-year-old rookie. I'm just not going to believe that. Did he not evolve to the level you felt he should have as your boy, your employer's needs were? Maybe, but to tell me that, proof's in the pudding, man. Belichick's still winning.
It's an interesting behind-the-scenes quote that, what if there's some kind of truth to it that obviously we can't tell in the very limited access we get to these guys. And it just this is something that could come straight from Brady's mouth, but it sneaks out through Alex Guerrero.
I completely agree. I think that's exactly what has happened. Alex is just repeating what he's heard but just because Tom Brady feels that way does not mean that's in fact the case. Now, perception is everything, but you're not going to tell me that the coach, the likes of Bill Belichick, who we always compare to Greg Popovich, the two greatest of their generation and maybe the greatest of all time in both those sports, you're not going to tell me that one or the other was unable to evolve and deal with their star 5 Super Bowl rings later. I think your perspective is skewed because the guy you're talking and taking up for also pays your check.
That's fair too. Why do these guys even talk to media is a whole nother thing. But, we're seeing the era because of social media of the famous trainers. So there are guys who won't get jobs in the NBA because they're making more money as trainers for NBA teams. Rudolph Renee says, I would believe Belichick is like that just because I believe Pop is like that. I don't think Pop is necessarily like Belichick personality-wise because Pop still seems funny every now and again. Belichick, I don't think I've ever seen that man crack a smile if it's not a Super Bowl.
I think because we only really get a chance to see Belichick 20 weeks a year, that we have more access to Pop. So because of that, more opportunity to see the human side of Pop. Where Belichick, he only has to stand in front of a crowd, Thursdays before a game, Monday after game, and when the season's done, what are we hearing? So I don't think we've had the access to Belichick. You can't be that great. You can't be a motivator of men and a developer of men in both character and athletics without being a good dude somewhere in there. If you're not, and you turn yourself into, you want the same things, but you're George Patton, and, yellow bellies get out. We hate y'all if you don't go my way. That doesn't work. So to tell me that Belichick doesn't evolve, yeah, bro, it's kind of like a girlfriend. It's kind of like Brady's wife taking up for him when they lost to the Giants. Well, the guy's got to catch the ball. Yeah, you're right. But there were other reasons you lost, not just because receivers dropped the ball. Everybody played poorly. So if Tom finds a reason, and he's a chip on his shoulder kind of a guy to say, I got to leave because you hadn't developed with me. All right, I get your perspective, but I'm not going to buy that. You don't be that good. You can't be that good for that long and not evolve and be able to communicate with your stars. It just doesn't work that way.
I'm not a parent, but you are, so maybe I can ask you this and see what you think. But was there ever an age where maybe Jack was 10 to 15 and he liked this, and then now that he's in his early 20s, he doesn't like that, but you still wish he did? Oh, and maybe you treat him like that. Does that kind of make sense? Maybe that's where this is coming from. Sort of like he liked being treated like that in his 20s. Why doesn't he like being treated this way in his late 30s and 40s?
But I think that, no, you're right. And you have to understand the involvement. But to say that he wouldn't change, I just don't believe that. I think Tom Brady, to be a success, has to be angry at something. So he's talking to his trainer, that Belichick, I've evolved. I'm a man. And he treats. Well, the proof's in the pudding, dude. You got 5 rings on. So obviously what he's doing is working. So I'm just not going to take it that way. I just feel like when I hear that, it's the girlfriend, it's the brother, it's the cousin of the guy that's upset. Let's get a more, I don't know, somebody that's outside of the circle. You tell me if you did. Not somebody like Brady, who has been inextricably just linked to Belichick for 20 years.
Yeah, and Rudolph also says, I'm not saying he doesn't have a right, so what's the reason Tom left? And, yeah, change of scenery sometimes.
Well, the Patriots had run out of talent. He looked around. There wasn't anything there. There some of the other moves that Belichick had, gone to the bank with by finding the cast-offs and the kind-ofs and telling them to do one thing really well and we won't expect anything else. That was a winning formula. But when you strike out on a couple of those, you draft poorly, you don't bring in the right free agents, suddenly things go south, and Brady saw it. He wasn't surrounded with the same talent he had before.
Kind of wonder when you look at what he has, the weapons on Tampa Bay in a warmer climate, it makes much more sense for him to be down in Florida versus freezing his butt off in Foxborough with, like he said, name 3 receivers for either team, and it's easier to do it for Tampa Bay than it is for New England. All right. We'll have to talk about that. There's obviously so many layers. We could peel that onion for a while. Headline 0. Lane Kiffin knocks Tide demise talk and says the ability to cherry pick transfers makes them one of the most talented teams ever.
No, we've talked with Coach Morris over at UIW and Coach Traylor. We've had Jake Spavital on from Texas State. All coaches of great regard. All of them in their jobs because either they're right, all of them rising because they have a skill set that tells everybody that's hired them, you're going to coach bigger and better places someplace else. These are all, stepping stone schools, which ideally all of them want to become a destination. But when you think about coaching and the way you have to recruit, all of them have said, the transfer portal is a nightmare. I have to not only recruit players out of high school, I've got to keep recruiting them when they get here. And then you've got Nick Saban, who gets to cherry pick the 5 stars coming out of high school. And then he gets to cherry pick the best of the other universities after they've gone and gotten seasoned, coached up, and finally are able to go chase a pro career. He gets those guys too. I think Lane Kiffin's right. It is a self-perpetuating cycle that right now Alabama's on top of. They either get them coming in or they get them mad when they're transferring away from a school that Alabama just beat.
Yeah, and then on the Texas State side, I kind of wonder if maybe there's a reason these guys were in the transfer portal, because they just lost to UIW and they were down a couple players, but a big chunk of the 1s and 2s that were mostly made up of these transfer guys. It's one thing to say, oh, yeah, he was recruited by Alabama, ended up at this other P5 school, but it didn't work out there. Maybe there's a reason it didn't quite work out there, and that's the double-edged sword of it.
You're right. And first of all, Spav took advantage of that transfer portal like mad.
No high school recruits this year.
Brought them all in, and it's a surefire way to jumpstart your program. But Jake, or Coach Spavital and UIW are getting guys that weren't happy, felt slighted, whatever the case is, just maybe new coach showed up. Saban's getting the guys that have outplayed their university.
That's right.
You know what I mean? They're not leaving because they're mad. They're leaving for a bigger pond because they see dollar signs in their future. So Saban gets the good ones coming out and the better ones in college when they're ready to leave. So yeah, they are set up. And we thought it felt like Dabo was right about there with Clemson. Doesn't look that way. As we said, he was one quarterback away from being back in the pack. So yeah, Nick's got it and will continue to have it as long as he is the coach at Bama.
I wonder also if this is a little bit of karma for Dabo over at Clemson, because I think he said he would retire if players ever got name, image, likeness, or were paid.
Yeah.
And how's that working out for you, Dabo? All right. And that's those are your headlines. Thank you there for the Sounder pledge. The Warriors, they got some issues that they got to deal with before the start of NBA training camp, which is next week. Oh my goodness, September just flew. And Shaq says something about the Spurs that will shock you. And I was a little shocked by it. It forced me to mess up today on R&R in the morning. I want y'all to hear what he had to say as well. This is halftime. Thanks for spending your midday break with us. And this is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Emotion. There are few places in the broadcast universe where emotion is so sweet.
To the ground ball toward the middle, Connor Falefa to his left. He's got it. He spins. He throws. He got him. The ball game's over. Joey swings and launches one high in the air, deep center field. This one's on its way. That ball is history. This game is tied.
This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Can you feel it?
I can't wait to feel it again next April. That sweet emotion with the Rangers that left me about May. Hey, bettors, I'm talking to you. I want to tell you about my sports book, and that's betus.com. It's been America's favorite sports book for over 25 years. The reason I'm with them is because of that longevity. That tells me they've got integrity, and I can tell you from experience, you need to know you're going to get paid. They pay you on time, on target. You need a sports book that offers everything you're after. Live betting, of course, we want to be in game. That's the funnest part. MMA, golf, horses, esports, props, it's all there. And easy to sign up as well. I'll tell you the best way to do it. Everybody wants to just go jump on their app and jump on their laptop. Get on the phone. You don't have to do anything but answer a couple questions. Dial 1-800-79-BET-US. That's 1-800-79-BET-US. They'll walk you through the process. You can do it faster than Warren Sapp runs a 40. Nobody in the industry does what betus.com does. They offer you up to 200% in bonuses, all for mentioning us. KZDC. So when you mention KZDC, you'll get up to 200% in bonuses on your first deposit. Nobody does that. You're probably with another program, another book, another place. You owe it to yourself for the 200% bonus up to that by just going to betus.com and mentioning KZDC. Heck, you could win some money tonight. I lay money at BetUS, and so should you. betus.com. Sign up today, gamble today, make some money today at America's favorite sportsbook. That's betus.com, where the game begins.
Dog Pound Championship Wrestling proudly presents Strictly Business, live this Saturday at the historic Woodlawn Gym. Don't miss Max Castellanos, Andre Law, and former WWE superstar Rodney Mack versus Frank Stone and current Ring of Honor six-man tag team champions, Soldiers of Savagery, and then the open contract Battle Royale. You can also meet former WWE Women's Champion and wrestling legend Jazz. GA tickets just $10 at the door, with $20 VIP tickets also available. Dog Pound Championship Wrestling Strictly Business, live this Saturday at the historic Woodlawn Gym.
San Antonio Sports Stars taking halftime on the road. We'll be out at Twin Peaks this Monday, September the 27th. We'll be covering all things Monday Night Football and prepping you for the Eagles and Cowboys. And you'll have a chance to win Twisted Trails tickets and some brand new San Antonio Sports Stars swag. That's right. Join us September the 27th for lunch from noon to 2 at Twin Peaks Westover Hills location, 410 and 151. That's this Monday, September the 27th from noon to 2 at Twin Peaks, 410 and 151. San Antonio Sports Star on the road.
If you're suffering from cold, flu, or COVID symptoms, you need an accurate temperature reading as quickly as possible. Fever is a leading symptom of both the flu and COVID-19, so the sooner you rule out the common cold, the better. Use the Exergen Temporal Scanner, the same thermometer used by medical professionals millions of times a day to accurately detect fever. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Exergen is changing the way the world takes temperature. Research shows that people remember radio ads with a booming voice that emphasizes all the main points. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
That part is super important.
Here's one with a booming voice.
I'm emphasizing everything.
Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance.
Like a page with every word highlighted.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Prescription products require an online consultation. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
My husband's ED was affecting our marriage. When he first started experiencing ED, it was difficult for both of us. We didn't know who to talk to about it or where to get help. HIMSS was our answer. HIMSS connected my husband with a licensed provider online. He was able to get medication to treat his ED at a fraction of the price people pay for the name brand. It was delivered to our door, and guess what? Our sex life is back. It works.
Right now, get your first online provider's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/radio. Yep, free. No copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Just the care you need.
Thanks to HIMSS, we got our sex life and our marriage back.
To start your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/radio. That's forhims.com/radio for your free online visit. forhims.com/radio.
Take a break from the hustle. This is Halftime with Rob Thompson and Carl Schoening on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It's halftime. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. Thank y'all for tuning into our frequencies. You can also hit us up on Facebook or YouTube. Watch us live on sasportstar.com. I'm Carl Schoening. He's Rob Thompson. James Pledger, making sure we sound good.
Doing his best. What's the frequency, Kenneth?
It's a rough thing.
There are people of an age who know exactly what I'm talking about. When I said that, they go, oh, yeah.
What's the frequency, Kenneth?
What's the frequency, Kenneth? There are two random references to that. Moving on.
No, I'm not sure. Should we move on?
Well, one of them,
I know what
song.
this is?
Well, there was remember Dan Rather? You might
have heard of him.
Dan Rather was the CBS News guy after Walter Cronkite. Well, he was attacked in Central Park back probably 30 years ago by some dude who was not stable, obviously, and was screaming, "What's the frequency, Kenneth?" and it made the news because he was the news guy. And then a band called REM, one that you probably don't know either.
No, I know REM.
Okay,
It's the
REM,
end of the world as we know.
That one, they had a song that had What's the Frequency, Kenneth? And you say we're listening to the frequencies. Random reference, but that's what I'm here for.
Hey, certain people will catch it, other people won't. Siberian Sneak knows REM as he joins us on Facebook Live. Warriors had a tough day yesterday. First off, news got out that Andrew Wiggins is unvaccinated, and to play at Chase Arena in San Francisco, everybody on the Warriors needs to be vaccinated for their home games. If you're on the road, they'll make exceptions. They can't force everybody on the Mavericks, Spurs, Rockets, etc. to be vaccinated to play. They have their own rules, obviously, if they're unvaccinated. But Andrew Wiggins, dude making $30+ million a year for his own reasons, whatever they might be, is unvaccinated, and the Warriors are a little worried about that. At a certain point, I know it's tough, but do you have to fine them? Can you suspend them? You know that they're not going to be able to play, but what do you do if you have unvaccinated players, especially somebody that's taking up that much of your payroll?
You know, we heard yesterday, we talked about an NHL guy that didn't get invited to camp. We know Cam Newton, if he was vaxxed, would probably, maybe, most likely already be on a roster. Maybe not, but I'm certainly that's been a hindrance. Andrew Wiggins, you know, you got a lot of potential, but there comes a time when the potential becomes what could have been. And Andrew's not there yet. He's certainly getting paid like he is a star. I don't know what you do, man. But if you got a guy, we'll fall back on one of the mantras of the San Antonio sports star. The best ability you have is availability.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ain't available, what's the point? Wiggins, I don't know if you're angling to get out. If you're thinking you might end up in Philly in some kind of crazy deal, you better go get vaxxed. You're going to be sitting watching this season. That's it.
So you bring up a good point. He could potentially be involved in 76ers trade talks with Ben Simmons because the salaries sort of match up there. And it's almost like a James Harden, a Kyrie Irving situation last year when they were potentially traded for each other, but they wanted to play together. What can we do to drop our trade value? So Kyrie Irving went AWOL and went to a party where he partied maskless, and James Harden showed up to work in a fat suit. And that's maybe what Wiggins is doing here, saying, I want to stay here, but obviously that's actually probably counterproductive because maybe he just wants to change the scenery, and if he doesn't get vaccinated, then he won't be able to play home games for the Warriors. And in no world can I see him only playing, that would only make him eligible for 30-something games because you have other places that'll probably, by the time everything's said and done, require vaccinations for both home and away. We'll have to see, but another one of those places are the New York teams. The Knicks and the Nets both have to be vaccinated in order to play their home games. And once again, there's those unvaccinated rules that just make it that much harder. So if you're the one who wants to go through testing twice on game days and once on travel days, and you know if you're out and about, because that's the one issue here in this whole pandemic, are the unvaccinated people acting like they're vaccinated, because no one's going to ask you for your card if you go into a shop maskless. And if Wiggins tests positive, he's going to have to be out at least 10 days. They're not going to let him come back whether he tests negative or not consecutively. There's at least 10 days there. So we'll have to see what happens there. But then the Warriors stay in the news yesterday. Not too long after that, Joe Lacob was fined $50,000 for violating the NBA anti-tampering rule for saying he didn't know whether or not he wanted Ben Simmons. He says in some ways it doesn't really fit what we're doing. He makes a lot of money. Ben Simmons, can he finish games though? I don't know. He's very talented. The problem is we have Draymond, and Draymond and him are very similar in the sense that neither one really shoots, and they do a lot of the playmaking. That's one issue. The salary structure is another. So you can't talk about players at all as an owner or an executive, because that comes into the tampering. And for all we know, this could be a way to publicly state something to drive down Ben Simmons' value in trade talks. Yeah. So Yeah, like, hey, you don't want Draymond, but Draymond does a lot of similar things. We don't want you to not take Draymond. So if Draymond's not going to be a 76er, then we don't think Ben's going to be a Warrior. So it was, I don't know, that in $50,000 to an owner of an NBA team. Come on. That's more than most people make in a year, but also at the same time, that's that's to a billionaire. That's a $13 fine.
Yeah, that's couch money.
I lost a 20 out of my pocket, man, and that's not even how much it hurts him.
It's not. And I will tell you, if we didn't already know that Golden State had already made an offer, what you're saying today means that. What do you mean? So today, he doesn't really fit what we're doing. 6 weeks ago, we'll give you our number 1 pick and Wiseman. We'll give you this. We'll give you that. You want all that? And you got told no. So now he doesn't really fit what you want to do. You're negotiating through the press, dude. $50K wasn't enough. This is the classic tamper. This isn't Magic Johnson talking about dudes he knows. This is a general manager, a guy who holds the wallet, who tried to make the deal before, coming and said, hey, no, we don't really want him. That offer we did before, that was a joke. Come on, bruh. That should have been a $100,000 fine. That was tampering in the classic sense, trying to drive the price down. That's what he did. Pay the price.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be another storyline that we have to follow, of course, as that might as well be your Ben Simmons rumor of the day. We don't have any real updates on Ben Simmons.
Well, we kind of do. There's an article that hit SI.com, and basically the question was asked to their beat writers. I'll pull up the names here in a second, but you know all of them. What's going to happen to Ben Simmons? And of those that commented, there were really only 2 destinations in the mind of the Sports Illustrated NBA writers. And it was either Portland or San Antonio. So there is a bit as far as those that are plugged in and talking, and it's really the same debates and the same reasoning behind him either landing in Portland or San Antonio. One would be, if he lands in Portland, it won't be for Dame. It'll end up being McCollum. They're not going to trade Dame, the biggest name player they've had in Portland since Bill Walton. They're not going to move him. They're just not going to. He's going to end his career as a trailblazer. So it'll cost McCallum and a couple of guys. And can Ben Simmons and Dame play together? Well, that's a question that could be answered, but I think it looks good. Or do you land in San Antonio? In a franchise that is universally well regarded as a place to come and land. It's safe. It's comforting. You're out of the public scrutiny like you would be in Philly or anywhere else for that matter. And it's the home of the best shooting coach in the entire world in many, many people's eyes in Chip England. So if the problem is too much scrutiny and not enough shooting, there is no better place to land than San Antonio. Now, it would take some time for him to rehab, and he could become the face of the franchise if he chose to stay. That's another question, but at least they've got him for a couple of years. Those are the at least by that experts in that room, they're looking at San Antonio and Portland, and it makes sense.
And on top of that all, Spurs have Jock Landale, good buddy of Ben Simmons.
And one more. Assistant coach.
Oh, that's right. Matt Nielsen is now also on the bench. And Matt obviously was an easy choice. He was the head coach of the Austin Spurs last year, and with Will Hardy going to Boston, I think that was an easy step up.
How much time would Simmons have to spend in Austin before he can play with the Spurs?
You're going to have to prove you respect the ball. You have to prove you'll care for it and love it and not give it to anybody else. Then you'll have to defer to the other seniors, the other varsity types, the ones that have been here for a while. And then, maybe then, after 6 or 8 weeks, you'll get to come to San Antonio.
The only thing is, and this is just the situation that's at hand, CJ McCollum is not what the 76ers want, because you probably can't play CJ McCollum and Seth Curry, the best shooter on the 76ers, at the same time. That's just a nightmare. And then you also lose your best defender for a non-defender. So that also sucks.
CJ's not a terrible defender, but I think your best defender, he's gone. But the best defender on ball for the foreseeable future, whilst Danny Green has the senior savvy, he's been around a long time, it's Tyrese Maxey. Maxey's your ball stopper.
No, Matisse Thybulle.
No, I'm telling you.
Really?
Thybulle is a baller. Your future at Philadelphia for a dog that will pick up a 1, 2, and a little 3 It's Tyrese Maxey. He is the future there. That's why he was drafted to replace Tybalt.
He's untouchable. In fact,
absolutely untouchable.
In fact, it was actually something funny from a Bay Area reporter. They were saying that the whole issue is almost with clutch sports and that Tyrese Maxey would be involved in any Ben Simmons trade. And this is why you don't trust a singular source. You need to get a second source because that man backtracked within 24 hours saying, no, he said Tyrese Maxey is actually looking very forward to Philadelphia this year, and they're not looking to move him. But, yeah, Maxey is definitely a piece of the future.
Oh, yeah.
But the guy that'll probably, at least at the start of the season, it'll be a combination between Danny Green and Matisse Thybulle to get the main thing. But I do like Maxey's upside. It's only been his second. He was a really great rookie. I do sort of maybe give him a little bit of rookie doubt. But, yeah.
He's already got a 40 burger, doesn't he? Hadn't he already bitten off a big old bite of 40?
No, that's the thing. He's a much better offensive player. So I kind of see him more of an offensive player.
Wait till you see the defense. This kid's been playing defense up in North Dallas for a long time. He's a baller. Legit former or future all-star to go with Embiid. They know it. He ain't going to get moved.
No, he's not part of any Ben Simmons trade. He's probably not part of any Philadelphia trade unless it's an absolute no-brainer. I do want to talk about that Shaq thing, but we're up against it. And I'm also going to tell you what game that I just downloaded right now because I'm a nerd about this kind of stuff. And there's a really good chance that you're a nerd about it too. Before we hit the break, James Pledger, what you got?
I have a source that says the Blitz is going to be live out at the Roo Pub tonight for Thursday Night Football.
Who's the source? We need two sources.
It's just a source.
Do you have one source?
I've got one source.
Actually, I have it on good authority as well. Hey, go up to the roof. I'm sure the kitchen will be open. Get yourself.
It will be.
Fried chicken going to be on the menu tonight?
It's always on the menu,
I'll tell you, that is an underappreciated facet of the Roo Pub. The food coming out of the kitchen is spectacular.
I will tell you this. One of my favorite things is to get the wedge salad and throw some protein on it, whether it's steak or chicken. Their wedge salad is as good as any I've had.
That's a quarter of a whole lettuce.
They just give you a whole head of lettuce and throw some protein on it.
So are you telling me that afterwards, Jason Minix is going to be watching some Thursday Night Football at the Roo Pub?
Yeah, he's waiting for me to get up there.
Oh, right. Oh, hey, you're so now we have sources confirmed because it's straight from the mouth. That's not sources. That is James Pledger telling you where you should spend your Thursday night, the Roo Pub. After the Blitz, you can hang out with him and Jason Minix and hey, maybe Jason will buy around. No, we'll see. I think I'll have to go out there as we hope to see y'all, and we enjoy y'all being here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Who's ready to play some ball?
Friday nights under the lights. Don't miss the high school football game of the week. Powered by Hill Electric. This Friday on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM. ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It was an up-and-down evening for the Texas MLB teams. The New York Yankees completed their sweep of the Texas Rangers last night with a 7-3 victory. Isaiah Kenner-Falefa finished 2 of 4 from the plate with an RBI, while Taylor Hearn got the start, allowing 3 runs off 4 hits in 5 1/3 innings pitched. The Houston Astros took Game 3 of their series against the Angels 9-5 in 12 innings. 4 runs in the 12th sealed the deal for Houston, pushing their magic number to make the playoffs to 2. Yordan Alvarez went 3 of 4 from the plate with 3 runs brought in and 2 runs scored, plus a home run on the game. Those are your baseball headlines. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Carl Schoening.
Hi, welcome to Smokey Mo's.
At Smokey Mo's Barbecue, we smoke our meats fresh, in-house, each and every day. We think it makes all the difference in the quality of our moist, flavorful brisket and turkey, and the mouth-watering tenderness of our ribs and pork loin. Got a crowd? We've got group packs and full-service catering. Up early? We've got made-to-order breakfast tacos. Find your store at SmokeyMo'sBarbecue.com and come see us for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Smokey Mo's Barbecue. The pit is lit.
I'm Serena Williams. You watch me live on TV.
And I'm that voice for movies you watch on demand. DirecTV Stream brought us together to save the world.
Maybe not save the world, but DirecTV Stream does bring your live and on-demand favorites together.
Your favorites together.
I just said that.
She just said that.
Introducing DirecTV Stream, the best of live TV and on demand with no annual contract. Get your TV together at directv.com.
Requires high-speed internet and compatible device. Content varies by package and location. Restrictions apply.
Here in Texas, the heat is relentless. The storms are serious. And the hail is insane. Texas weather doesn't do anything halfway. And neither should your roofer. Your roof protects your home and your family. So whether you need a simple repair or a roof replacement, metal or composition, you need a roofer you can trust. That's Stevens Roofing. They are reputable, reliable, and have always been your local roofer. Call Stevens Roofing today for a free estimate at 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
Earn cash back every time you shop. Now through September 24th, during Lowe's Just for Pros event, you can earn up to $150 in statement credits when you're approved for a Lowe's Business Rewards card from American Express and join the Lowe's for Pros loyalty program. This exclusive offer is only for new eligible Lowe's Business Rewards card members, so apply today at lowes.com/business credit. Lowe's, the new home for pros. More terms apply. U.S. only.
Your life, your hopes, your passions. These things are none of our business. Your deodorant rash, your favorite cheese, and whatever you were searching for at 1:15 a.m., that's really none of our business. Because your life is private, and unlike other tech companies, we think your internet should be too. Oh, what kind of dog is that? That's none of our business either. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
Billy Bob's Bed's the greatest store on earth. Nobody sells certain perfect sleepers cheapers. We're the biggest store in San Antonio. We've got 100 different mattresses to choose from. We're having a big sale this weekend. Nobody beats my prices or money. It's not Billy Bob.
Billy Bob, I went to another store. They had a luxury Julie queen size set for $12.99. What can you do?
I got one just like it for $4.99. So get off my phone, get over here, and save yourself a fortune on a mattress. It's going to make you late to work.
Billy Bob, you got credit, and do you deliver?
I've got interest-free credit, and baby, do I deliver. Log on to BillyBobsBeds.com and check out our internet special.
Billy Bob's Beds is having a huge inventory clearance sale with discounts up to 80% off. You can get any Stein & Richter pillow top mattress, twin, full, or queen for only $199. And now you can shop our in-store collection online at BillyBobsBeds.com and then pick up your items the same day in store. Get over to Billy Bob's Beds before 6 p.m. That's BillyBobsBeds.com.
Ooh, Billy Bob, I'm headed your way.
Join us for this year's online Thomas J. Henry Bark in the Park Pet Costume Contest. This is an online pet costume contest with big cash prizes up to $2,500. Starting October 4th, visit bark.tjhlaw.com and upload photos of your pet in costume. Then share with friends on social media, vote, and win great prizes. All entry fees go directly to local pet rescues. For more info and to enter the contest, visit bark.tjhlaw.com.
The Dallas Cowboys, the Philadelphia Eagles. Two bitter rivals, one big night. Get the action live Monday starting at 7:15. Sponsored by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota. San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
J. Will Zubin on San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Zubin's not on anymore. We'll have to ask him to cut that again with Max. Maybe even get Kellerman to do a little bit more than the nothing but uppercuts, San Antonio. Max is one of my favorites. I've been listening to him since he was doing LA Drive Time.
Yeah, we get Max in the morning now. His replacement is imminent.
Hopefully Zubin's doing better. I understand he had to leave because of some health issues. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But it's still a great show. Jay Will finally back too. He was recovering from COVID. So, yeah, everybody stay healthy out there.
COVID and getting hacked.
Yeah, getting hacked. He kind of forgot that the Boston Celtics actually had the first black head coach in all of professional sports, and he congratulated Ime Udoka for being the first black head coach of the Boston Celtics. And then when people pointed out that Doc Rivers was there only like 5 years ago, he said that he got hacked. Yeah, well, oh well. Maybe it happens, but I think if I were to ever hack somebody famous's Twitter account, I'd be doing something a little more fun than that.
Congratulations on being the fifth black head coach in Boston Celtics history.
And worthy of, he's worthy of congratulations.
Oh, Ime's a great guy. I'm happy that he's there.
But no, you're just not the first.
So, first off, Shaquille O'Neal goes on a lot of media these days. I'm surprised that man has time to sleep. He's doing so many podcasts. He joins Robert Ory's podcast, and he was talking about the super teams nowadays and how he considered, after losing in Orlando, joining a super team. And he threw out a couple names. He said, I was thinking maybe I should join Robert Ory, who I think just because he was the host of the podcast, and Hakeem in Houston. And then I was also thinking about maybe I should join Tim Duncan and David Robinson in San Antonio because I'm from San Antonio. That was really considering.
Did he really say that?
Yes, he said.
Is that the first time I've ever heard that from him?
He's from San Antonio.
I thought he was from New Jersey.
Right?
That's what he had always told us while he was living here. He said he was from New Jersey. All right.
Yeah, that was a little surprising to me too. That's the actual. Let me see if I can find the actual quote. I would have loved to have played with Tim Duncan and David Robinson. I am from San Antonio. I could have come down there and played and won. But I was like, nope, I'm taking my licks, licking my wounds, and I want to beat these dudes. And we did. And he got a little lucky that Kobe became who Kobe was. That definitely played a big part in it. And I also think Shaq, before Kazam, was also dipping his toe into the Hollywood side of the world. He had already been there when Good Burger came out. That was the first movie that I saw him in. But Shaq loves himself some screen time.
With Keenan and Kel?
Yeah. You remember he made a cameo where he ordered a Good Burger?
That's right.
But yeah, that would have been fun, though. Tim at the point forward, David Robinson at the 3 or the 4, Sean Elliott and Mario Ellie could be sprinkled in there somewhere. Shaq at the center. They probably win 10 in a row. I think David
Early or late? Early or late? What time in his career?
This must have been 98 when he left Orlando.
Okay, so we're in the prime. And I think wherever Shaq lands, there's lots of rings coming.
Yeah.
But he acts like where he's talking about going that he was wanted.
Do you turn down Shaq in the late 90s?
You do if you've got David Robinson and Tim Duncan.
I would be, Spurs Media Day is coming up. It's Monday. We'll have to ask Minix, hey, you get one pop question. Ask him, would you have taken Shaq in 1999? I'm sure that would be
you can
answer.
act like everybody's chasing you, Shaq, but not everybody was. Yeah, you were great. But there was one coach that managed to beat you a couple times with guys he already had. I appreciate the fact that you would never say no to Shaq if he called like, hey, I'm thinking of coming to San Antonio. And by the way, I'll take a massive pay cut because there's no way you can pay me what I'm worth. If he says that, yeah, you say yes. But for him to say that, it's Shaq, you talked about it, how he is everywhere and doing everything. He's selling Shaq-a-roni pizza. He's selling Ring doorbells. He's selling body lotion. He's selling toner. He's so many places that I think he runs out of things to say, so he just makes crap up.
Well, when we're on media 5 hours a day, 5 days a week, and we don't run out of things to say, but if you asked us to you did the Blitz that one time for the couple days as well. That was you were running out of things to say for a bit.
But Shaq runs out of things to say because all he ever does is talk about Shaq.
So he has to make things up.
Well, I'm not saying I'm not saying he's lying. And in his mind, he's right. I could have landed in Houston if they could have afforded me, if they would have met my salary demands, because I wasn't cutting one penny off of that. And if they would have moved heaven and earth to have me, I could have gone there and won. I could have easily gone to San Antonio and won if they would pay me the max, if they would have cleared out other guys, if they would have changed their scheme. Yeah, it would have all worked out fine. Well, you can say that, and Shaq, it had just enough possibility to go, yeah, I can see it. But the fact of the matter is, none of this was going to happen. And we also haven't taken into the current and the belief that Shaq still talks about is you're weak if you don't do it on your own. He still talks about Durant, what a punk move that was. So you're going to say you were going to do that punk move? I don't believe you ever planned on it. And I'm not sure anybody ever even believed they had a chance except for the Lakers. And they had to do it minus the Kobe. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then it all kind of came together. So I appreciate you, Shaq. I love you. The legend that is Shaq is as big as your coat size. But you can fabricate these rumors or fabricate these things that you might have dreamed of years ago, but there was no possibility of any of that.
That's probably the case. And hey, we appreciate Shaq for giving us something to talk about, though, as that would have been fun to fantasize with. I won't dream with you, but I'll fantasize with you a little bit. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in to halftime. That's the first half of halftime. Stick around for the second half here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM.
Fall baseball and crisp air and that special sound. A crack of the bat in Major League Baseball, the playoff run, and the Fall Classic. The World Series can be heard right here. What's going to make that memorable moment that stands the test of time?
Swing and a high fly ball. Right field. On its way. Out of here.
Follow it all right here. Major League Baseball's playoffs and World Series from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
If you think the COVID vaccine alone will protect you from the coronavirus, think again. As the deadly disease breaks through to people who are vaccinated, it's critical to take a reliable temperature reading with the Exergen Temporal Scanner. It's the only thermometer whose accuracy has been proven in more than 100 clinical studies versus the non-contact devices that have no supporting studies and produce a false sense of security. Vaccines are not enough, and thermometer accuracy matters. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Hey, Cowboy fans, Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys and San Antonio Sports Star. We're throwing a big watch party for the Monday night game between the Cowboys and Eagles at I-10 Ice House. We'll start with a live broadcast of the Blitz starting at 4, and then watch the Cowboys take on the Eagles. Hourly drawings from 4 to 7 to win Cowboy game tickets, a Miller Lite Cowboys OtterBox cooler, Drew Pearson Hall of Fame standee, and other great prizes. And enjoy Miller Lite long necks during the game for just $2.08. That's Monday at 4 at the I-10 Ice House.
O'Reilly. Get more miles on the road with O'Reilly Auto Parts. A clean fuel system means better gas mileage for your car. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, get 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner for $8. Plus, earn double O Rewards points. For a clean, lubricated, more fuel-efficient system, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Dell's semi-annual sale is the perfect opportunity for a significant business upgrade. Save up to 45% on Dell computers built for business with Windows 10 Pro. Plus, enjoy special pricing on Dell docks, monitors, servers, and more, all with easy financing options through Dell Financial Services. Succeed anywhere with Windows 10 Pro. Speak to a Dell Technologies advisor today to find the right tech for your business with fast, free shipping. Call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, now opening at noon 7 days a week at all 4 area locations. Slackers is your home to 7 days a week happy hour, and they now start at noon every day. And by popular request, Slackers brings back their signature frozen drinks. Visit slackersbarsa.com for more info.
Prescription products require an online consultation. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
Think you might have ED? Not sure? Well, we'd like to let you in on a little secret. ED is common. About 40% of men experience ED by age 40, but the solution is simple. Find it at 4hims.com.
I didn't have to talk to a doctor in person. There was no copay, and the medication was shipped right to my door in discreet packaging.
Hims took care of it, fast and easy. Now our love life is better than ever.
Get access to doctors online who can prescribe you FDA-approved ED medication if appropriate. The same active ingredient as name brands, but 90% cheaper. Skip the waiting rooms and pharmacy lines. Get a free medical consultation and rise to the occasion or your money back. Go to 4hims.com/radio to get your first visit free. No copay required. The only way to get this special offer is to go to 4hims.com/radio. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Hey, it's Rob with my good buddy Jack Overman from Service First AC Repair and Plumbing. Hey, Jack. When someone calls you for plumbing or an AC repair, can you fix it that day?
No sweat. With Service First AC Repair and Plumbing, we don't sweat the small stuff or the big stuff.
210, no sweat.
This is the home of the Cowboys, Rangers, and Aggie football. KCDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Rob Thompson, Carl Schoening.
Halftime. It's halftime here on San Antonio Sports Talk. Half two of halftime. Thank y'all for tuning into our frequencies. AM 1250 or 94.5 FM on San Antonio Sports Star. Maybe you're also on our Facebook page, our YouTube, or sasportstar.com.
I recommend going there. We get graded on it.
Rudolph Renee says Shaq's comment was a what if.
What if that was a Marvel Universe thing right there, perfectly put for the audience of which he was speaking to. Yes, that was a what if.
That's kind of cool that we get to do this. What if really wasn't the first one to do this, but they've made it in vogue again. Have you seen this week's episode yet, Pudge? No, neither have I. So I need to schedule that because they come out every Wednesday. They've been good so far. If you're a Marvel fan, you'll like it. If you're not a Marvel nerd, a lot of it's going to go over your head. So if you have not seen every movie, maybe multiple times even, you might be like, what's going on? So,
and it's a cartoon.
Yeah. And if you're not a cartoon, if you can't handle the visual stimulation of a cartoon,
maybe that's it.
Well, there's something comic booky about it.
It is. It has a very different animation feel. It's not like your Simpsons or Archer or anything like that. It's got a very different kind of comic book feel to it. It just isn't my cup of tea. It's too in-depth and too into the universe it's made for nerds, by nerds, about nerds and all that. And there's not a door open for me. The other ones were the live action ones. They were made for people that were outside the universe, I feel like, and it worked, at least after the WandaVision one. This one, it's too far out there, man.
WandaVision was also out there, but I enjoyed it because I was trying to figure out what was going on half the time. Pudge, that and Star Wars Visions also came out. Do you know anything about Star Wars?
Is awesome.
Really? Okay. It's like a Star Wars anime, right?
Yeah, it's like Star Wars anime, but they're all real short. It's 9 episodes. It's incredible.
Is it based in the Skywalker saga, or is this okay?
This is all just outer ancillary. You don't even have to follow Star Wars. Just enjoy the story they're telling because it's almost kind of a samurai feeling. It's very cool.
Interesting. Okay. Noted. We like to talk entertainment here. I am still in the process of downloading the newest Pokemon game. Apparently, Pokemon Unite came out yesterday, and my Google knows me so well that it sent me a push notification. It's like, hey, we thought you might like this. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to download this. The closest we got to world peace was back in 2016 when Pokemon Go came out and everybody was united to catch them all.
Everybody was just staring at their phone, walking down the hall, looking for name the beast they were chasing. Never did find Charmander. Looked forever, couldn't find him.
I trespassed to find Charmander and went after Dragonite on a golf course one time.
Nice.
Yeah, I ended up in a bunker, but I got it.
Did you ever stop on 410 to try and catch one?
No, what?
And rush hour?
There were times where I went on the highway just to see what we could find.
You can find some.
Yeah, I had to delete that game. I got addicted to it. So my girlfriend and I, when we first started dating, was we both kind of bonded over that. And
Pokemon dates.
Yeah. So I said, I have to delete this, babe. This is taking away too much of my time.
I've got a question for both of you, because I start to wonder about people's health. I'm worried about the health of Davis Mills.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried about his mental health and being broke. And I'm also worried about the health, and this is more of a physical health question, about Urban Meyer. Because I hear this pregame.
A lot of good players in this league, man. Yeah, there are. It's Alabama every week. Yeah.
And I don't know if he survives the season.
You take on a very tough situation. He could have inherited Texas. He decided to go to an even tougher situation in Jacksonville. And yes, this is a parity league where every week, even if you're going up against the Houston Texans, who obviously are not where they were a couple years ago even.
Only time they've ever been compared to Bama.
Yeah, right. But there are no easy games is what I think he's getting at. When he was at Ohio State, he probably scheduled an FCS and an FBS team that's in a group of 5 conference. And yeah, that was easy enough. When he was at Florida, he had the best team 9-10 times out of 10. He knows that my athletes are just that much better because I recruited the best athletes. This was the issue with Chip Kelly when he got to the Eagles. He realized that he could not out-athletic the opposing team because it's an even playing field in the NFL when it comes to athleticism.
I want to be the last to come to Urban Meyer's defense here. I have every bit of respect for him as a college coach, and I have no reason, given time and adequate general management, adequate talent acquisition, that Urban Meyer is fully capable of winning with anything.
Mm-hmm.
He's a coach. So when I heard he doesn't know Vic Fangio from anybody, only time he would have ever met Vic Fangio is if Vic Fangio had flown to Ohio State or Florida to come and scout somebody. So he's out in the middle of a field getting ready for a game, and he sees the opposing head coach, and they're making small talk. So I think we're making too much of his past. I think we're making too much of Urban Meyer's arrogance. If he's going to fail, it won't because it eats him up inside. It's because he has shown from his time at Ohio State and his early time with Jacksonville that he has a tendency to hire strangely, that he'll bring in some guys that might be a hell of a football coach, but other things, not so much. So if the downfall for Urban Meyer occurs, it won't because it ate him up. I think he wouldn't have come back, and it would have been a point of conversation from the time he was called to literally the moment he was getting ready to sign the contract. Like, dude, you're good for this, right? I want you to go to the doctor. I want to see a medical report. I want to see if you've already got ulcers, if your health is in good shape, because the last 2 jobs you've had, you left, at least according to you, because of your health. So I would like to think that Jacksonville checked all that out. And Khan, the owner, said, look, dude, I'm hiring you for 5 years. 5 years. You're going to get money from me for the next 5 years, whether you work for me or not. So there's pressure. All the pressure I've got for you ain't about wins. I know you ain't got anything here. It's about incremental growth. And if he's given that kind of time and he has the kind of support, I have no reason to think he won't be at least as successful as any other former college coach. But you bring up Chip Kelly, and we could name 10 former college coaches that for one reason or another hit the NFL and weren't given enough time, or were in a situation that was absolutely untenable. And I'm talking about the greats: Nick Saban, Jimmy Johnson. Take a college atmosphere. Jerry was willing to stick it out after 1-15. Jerry was willing to let him go. And I think that gave him the presence to go and do what he needs to do. I think we're jumping on Urban a little bit too quickly. And I'm a guy who dislikes him. I think he's arrogant and has only coached thoroughbreds. He's never had to do anything but walk into Florida with the greatest college player I have literally ever seen play in Tim Tebow, and then do the same at Ohio State, where you got 30 dudes going to the draft next year. So now you're not coaching thoroughbreds, you're coaching equality. Let's see if you can coach your way through it. I have no reason to think he can't. I'm afraid he might not get the time.
See, I'm concerned more so about his health in terms of he had issues delineating his time and dealing with losses when he was in college, when there were quote unquote bye week teams that you could play. I don't know that he knows how to manage his time well enough and disassociate from the game enough to not work himself to death in the NFL.
I agree. And that's one of the reasons he came to the NFL. Because quite frankly, as a college coach, it is 300 days a year, probably 340 days a year. If you're not coaching, you're recruiting. And now you got to recruit your own players to make sure they don't leave you. It is a true year-round gig. You're the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. You ain't going to the playoffs this year. So only thing you're angling for is you're like, is myself and my staff going to be at the Senior Bowl? Because really all you're looking for after that, Urban's not out scouting. Urban's not out talking to boosters and raising money. Urban's home from February to OTAs. And then he's home after. It's an easier gig to be an NFL coach. More pressure from greater distances, but it's an easier gig. So I think the burnout scenario is more for the college guys that feel like they gotta, because they're taking it from their boss, from the alumni. They got to go recruit this 8th grader and at the same time talk this junior into not leaving. And that's all they do before 10 o'clock in the morning. Where Urban calls his OC and is like, how's the offense looking? All right, we'll come and look at that. How's the defense looking? All right, we'll come and look at that. I think it's an easier life.
And that's probably why he decided to take that over the University of Texas. Jonathan C. says on YouTube, a good what if could have been if he maybe brought Texas back to national championship contention. The thing is, you mentioned it, and I think that's what it is. Will he get the time in Jacksonville to get used to how to work the schemes in Jacksonville, build up the team how he wants to work the schemes? University of Texas just fired 2 coaches within their 5-year contract stretch. So thus, maybe he feels more confident that Jacksonville will be the team that gives him the time to set up how he wants to set up, because this is probably his last job no matter what.
I would think so. And Jacksonville fan ain't clamoring for Super Bowl this year.
No.
Jacksonville fans happy you get 2 first downs in a row.
Yeah, and Texas is like, why aren't we top 25?
Right. Texas is back, baby. Yeah, I got 3-4 stars. That's all. You're back. You hung with UTEP. You're back. Nobody telling Jacksonville they're back when they hang with the Colts. Yeah, you hung with the Colts. You're not back. The Colts aren't here either.
Oh, y'all won 10 games this season? That's a step in the right direction. And this is, not what Texas expects you to win. I don't know, at least 9-10 games a year. If in Jacksonville he ever gets to 10 games, they'll be happy.
They'll build a statue out front with 10 games. There's not nearly the pressure. There's plenty of very good reasons to dislike and want Urban Meyer fired. To worry about his making it through this season with losing, he's getting paid. He'll be all right. You know what we do on halftime? We know you're out picking up lunch, maybe out dining right now, al fresco in this beautiful weather, and you need the news because you're going back to work and you got to have something to talk about because Rodriguez will be in the office today and you don't get to see him but once a week. It's time to run it. Carl's got all the things you need. Let's get everybody informed. Carl, what do you got?
Carl's Countdown.
Headline 2, the National Basketball Players Association hires Tamika Jamalzio to replace Michelle Roberts, who retires, as executive director. Jamalzio was a prominent Washington, D.C. attorney and longtime National Basketball Players Association consultant and has been hired as the new executive director of the NBPA. This is the first hire that new president C.J. McCollum makes in his leadership.
New president, new staff.
Well,
that's huge.
It's an introduction to a new person, and it continues to be a female in that major role. And whether or not we hear what goes on with her thought process, she plays a major role in the NBA and its ongoing.
When we talk about how players address the vaccination situation, how players, this is a huge role in the NBA, and it's good to have another woman in a place of power. And also, interesting what C.J. McCollum's going to deal with after Chris Paul been in control of the union here for the last 6-8 years.
Yeah, CP3 decides not to be reelected for a third term, and good on CJ as he is elected as the president of the NBPA. Headline 1, New York Giants guard Shane, I'm going to murder this one,
Lemieux.
Oh, okay. Hey.
You're not French. It's okay.
Yeah, that's true. No, I do not speak French. No parlez-vous. Season is over after knee surgery. So how's it, Shane Lemieux? Lemieux. His season's over.
And who's he play for?
The New York Giants. He's the starting left guard.
Well, my point here was those that own Saquon Barkley, he's already limping around and he's lost a guard. Looks like it's going to get tougher and tougher for Jason Garrett when he takes this team over. When the head coach gets fired for ineptitude, he's going to be taking over a team that's got a banged-up offensive line and a limping running back. It's getting tougher and tougher for the Giants as we get through here.
You ever see the movie Eddie, where Whoopi Goldberg becomes the head coach of the Knicks?
I have.
That's what the Giants should do here. They should just find a very passionate fan, open it up, and say, who wants to be the next coach of the Giants? We'll just let you guys finish the season here.
It's Garrett. Jason, put it in the book. Jason Garrett will be the head coach of the New York Giants. It's going to happen. It's just a matter, will it happen during this season? It's possible, but it's going to happen. Prepare yourselves.
Oh no, I'm already mentally there. I love it.
Oh, we want it. We need it.
I miss Jason Garrett as a head coach in the NFC East so bad.
We're gonna look at the tape and get better. We're gonna look at the tape and get better. We tried hard today. They were a little short. We're looking at the tape and get better. Get ready, Giant fan. It's coming.
All righty. And headline 0. The U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee will require COVID-19 vaccinations for 2022 Beijing Olympics.
Of course. Wasn't that required before?
No, I don't think you were required in the Tokyo Olympics.
Oh, here we go. Next step. And that's right. You did not have to be vaxxed. There's just lots and lots of tests. Next level stuff, man. The world has changed. You're going to have to get vaxxed. You can fight it, but it's coming. You don't have to do what you're doing, but you won't be able to do it if you're not vaxxed.
The
Ask
quote,
Wiggins.
Yeah, exactly. The quote was, while we were hopeful we would be lifting our COVID restrictions by the time the flame was extinguished at the Tokyo 2020 games, the stark reality is that the pandemic is far from over. And that's really the truth. And, I've been wondering at what point do we actually say, hey, the pandemic's over? It might be something we just have to kind of deal with in general health because things like this could always pop up. This might be Mother Nature fighting back against the humans. Who knows?
I've seen this movie. It ain't going anywhere. As long as people don't go get vaxxed, it ain't going anywhere. That's get shot.
That's the real thing. And then, obviously just to be a little scientific, because I saw this on Family Guy as they were encouraging people to get vaxxed. If the unvaccinated community starts spreading variants, eventually the variants might not work for the people who are vaccinated because the vaccinations don't have the guesswork to do that RNA. It's a lot of DNA stuff that I've never really learned because I did not go to medical school, but I try to educate myself as much as possible.
Well, that's why we have the Delta variant.
Yes. All righty. Well, those are your headlines.
Appreciate you, Carl. We are caught up and ready to go. The NFL, we're only in through 2 weeks, but I think we can start separating. I think we can start figuring out who's headed in the right direction and who's not. Let's look at the 2-0 teams and the 0-2 teams and see which ones are perpetrating and which ones are evolving. I want to go with the 2-0 teams. I want to see which teams you believe in, Carl. After we get back, I want to see which teams we believe in. Do you believe in the Las Vegas Raiders? Do you believe that the Detroit Lions can turn things around? How about those Cardinals? The Cardinals, I think, are a separator for fandom. We'll talk about it when we come back.
Absolutely. And looking forward to it. And Pledge, we got to get your 2 cents on this, of course, here on Halftime. This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Friday nights mean one thing. San Antonio Sports Stars High School Football Game of the Week, powered by Hill Electric. Jason Minix and Kevin Brock have the call each week beginning at 7 p.m. from the GPS of Texas broadcast booth, a Friday night Texas tradition.
Tomorrow, the Johnson Jaguars take on the Brandeis Broncos. 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff.
High school football, each week from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Rudy J here, and I want to tell you about Enrique Custom Vision. Dr. Enrique has performed over 58,000 laser vision corrections, and he's the only Z-LASIK trainer in the area. He treats nearsightedness, farsightedness, and even astigmatism. And all procedures are blade-free and pain-free, and they just take seconds per eye. Get the vision you deserve without glasses and contacts. Call 354-2020 today to get the Enrique difference. Don't compromise your only set of eyes. Call 354-2020 today.
Your source to local news and sports in San Antonio begins with the San Antonio Express News. We've collected, written, and shown the stories that matter most to San Antonio. Look no further than the San Antonio Express News to continue to provide information and strength to the community. Whether it's on the field or on a court, we provide the ground local coverage. Go to expressnews.com for the most up-to-date high school and college sports coverage. Subscribe today at expressnews.com.
Central Builders Incorporated is a family-owned, award-winning general contractor headquartered in San Antonio. Since 1989, CBI has completed over $1 billion in construction projects, including large-scale remodeling, expansions, and ground-up construction. The award-winning CBI has also been recognized by the San Antonio Business Journal as one of the best places to work for the past 4 years, and Central Builders is hiring. Learn more at centralbuilders.net. That's centralbuilders.net.
Now's the time to get a great deal on Kubota construction equipment, featuring durable Kubota engines, more comfort, more productivity, more get it done right. The Kubota construction lineup shows up ready to work every day. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 48 months, or save up to $7,000. Now through September 30th, 2021. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
For the ones going above and beyond. For the ones reaching out, helping out, and lending a hand. For the ones people count on. You can count on Grainger. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. Backed by 24/7 customer support and specialists to help with hard-to-find products. Because you've got everyone's back. We've got yours. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
No one outfits golfers better than Edwin Watts Golf Shops. We've been fitting golfers since 1968. Utilizing cutting-edge fitting technology, we'll analyze your swing and our Foresight launch monitors and fit you with the perfect club, pair of shoes, the latest golf apparel, golf balls, bags, and more. So come by today for your complete custom fitting. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Hi, welcome to Smokey Mo's.
At Smokey Mo's Barbecue, we smoke our meats fresh, in-house, each and every day. We think it makes all the difference in the quality of our moist, flavorful brisket and turkey, and the mouth-watering tenderness of our ribs and pork loin. Got a crowd? We've got group packs and full-service catering. Up early? We've got made-to-order breakfast tacos. Find your store at SmokeyMo'sBarbecue.com and come see us for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Smokey Mo's Barbecue. The pit is lit.
Blake Stevens with San Antonio-based GPS of Texas. If you have commercial vehicles on the road, you're a target for personal injury lawyers. I mean, you're wearing a bullseye. Our system can protect you if there is an accident with proof of speed, video monitoring, even proof that your driver wasn't on his phone. Don't get hammered. Have real proof that you weren't at fault by installing our GPS camera tracking system. Call GPS of Texas at 210-587-7634 or gpsoftexas.com.
It's halftime with Rob Thompson and Carl Schoening on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It's halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM.
You know, we're going to talk some football. But in the break, I don't think San Antonians realize that Monday, yes, Monday is Spurs Media Day.
And then the next day, Tuesday, they start training camp.
Training camp starts next week. We just started football, and we already get a little bit of gravy that is the NBA early on.
The thing I'm most excited about in the Spurs training camp, obviously the young guys. So after the young guys, the fact that they'll be able to play together, is that Thaddeus Young is still on the roster because he was involved in some trade rumors, none of which excited me. Something about him going to the Suns for Dario Saric and a first-round pick. If you're one of those Spurs fans,
and Jalen Smith. Don't leave Jalen Smith out of that.
And Jalen Smith, if they didn't give up a first-round pick, I think they actually wanted to keep their future first and give the Spurs the 10th overall pick from last year's draft that, quite frankly, they didn't play. So there's not much film on him. And he's only 20 years old. So, the Spurs would have yet another young guy to develop. Thaddeus Young is still on this roster, and I'm excited to see him. October 4th is the first game. It's at the AT&T Center against Orlando. And it'll be interesting to see if he's the starting four. And I think he probably is, because you got to give Pop some vets. You got to give Pop some 30-year-old.
I will agree with you completely if he's on the team by the time they play October the 4th.
We'll see. I do not know if maybe this Ben Simmons thing is forcing the issue, because if there's one way to maybe send away somebody that the 76ers fans are going to boo next time he goes to the Wells Fargo Arena in Philadelphia, it's by replacing him with somebody they will cheer very loud for that he returned, the prodigal son, Thaddeus Young.
We'll be on with R&R in the morning on Monday morning, but we will have an embed reporter. His name is Jason Minix, and we'll get a couple of updates as they do offer Media Day on Monday. And you talk about it. Spurs have a game in the AT&T in 2 weeks, under 2 weeks.
Oh, man.
We are
it
almost
snuck
there.
up on us.
I'm telling you, it dawned on me as I was reading. Chris Davis, good guy with Spurs, sent me some stuff about the press, and it registered. Starting practice on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
They're starting practice on Tuesday. So the sports buffet, it continues to grow. When we went to break, I got some questions for Carl and James regarding what do you believe in the two-game trend that we have in the NFL? We've got the haves and the have-nots. You got the 1-and-1s, and they're balancing. But right as we sit, the undefeated teams, Las Vegas, Denver, Tampa, Carolina, San Francisco, the Rams, and the Cardinals. Now, I think we can all agree that we're comfortable with the quality of the Tampa Bay Bucks. I think we'll all buy that they're probably trending toward a playoff berth. I think that I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm just going to go ahead and circle them.
I feel they're kind of sketchy.
I'm going to go ahead and circle the Rams.
Oh, to make the playoffs is what you're getting at here.
Are we buying that this 2-0 start is indicative of future returns? Do we expect these 2-0 teams to make the playoffs at the very minimum? And I can circle Tampa and the Rams, go locks, done. They're going to make it. Even if bad things happen, they're good enough to make it.
That's a term for you.
What?
You have not been on the Matt Stafford bandwagon this offseason.
No, I'm back.
Oh, really?
I'm on. I was not sold. I figured Matt Stafford had become part and parcel of Detroit Lion, and he would bring that lionness to the Rams. No. McVay is through the roof that he doesn't have to literally tell Matt Stafford where to throw the ball.
That's amazing.
So,
because I did not know that you had come full circle.
I have been reborn on the side of Jalen Hurts, dead wrong there, completely wrong. And for them, I mean, I never discredited Stafford. I just felt like, dude, you've been in Detroit so long, you've had some opportunities, and when you did, you couldn't capitalize. But so far, so good with the Rams. And on the other thing, Matt Stafford never had a Aaron Donald on the other side to completely blow up the other team. So we'll circle those teams.
He has two Madden 99 Raiders with Ramsey as well.
Ramsey as well. He's never had all of that, and he's never had the weapons that he has right now. So I was wrong. I admit it. I'll take the loss on that one. So we buy on them. Las Vegas. Now they're going in against a beat-up Miami team. We know Carr is super, super questionable, and Josh Jacobs is only kind of questionable. Are we buying them as a playoff team? Keep in mind their conference and division. It ain't easy where they're playing.
I oddly have faith in Gruden to start taking that 10-year contract seriously here in year 4. This is the year that he makes the playoffs.
So you're in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm in so long as they're healthy because.
Well, health. Yeah. We will qualify everything we're doing if they lose the best guy on any of this, unless it's Tampa. And I think they could lose anybody but Brady and still be.
Yeah.
They could lose any other star. They could lose Gronk. They could name the other guys. They would still be okay as long as they don't lose Brady. So I'm with you. I think Las Vegas is there. Now we start getting to those questionable ones. Denver has looked good, right?
I think both Denver and Las Vegas are, because you're talking about the AFC West, which has the Chiefs and the Chargers, which we both expect to be really good and possibly playoff teams with both of those young quarterbacks. I think I need to see a bigger sample size from both of those teams if I'm going to buy in, whether it's Las Vegas or Denver.
Okay. I think what about you?
Is it weird to say in a league where we don't really appropriately rate anybody that Teddy Bridgewater is the most underrated player in the NFL? He's a winning quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He's 28-23 overall in his career as a starter. Last year with Carolina, that could have gone better. He went 4-11, and obviously his injuries. But yeah, overall he was 5-0 in New Orleans. When he got the start, obviously he was Drew Brees' backup. He was 11-5 when he was the Minnesota. That was obviously before a big injury, but now he's 2-0. Let's give Teddy Bridgewater the maybe credit he deserves and say that he'll at least put them in a position to be a playoff contender.
He's not going to cause them not to go, but you watch them play and you see what's happening. And Teddy is a functional NFL quarterback, but you can also tell that the search continues.
He is Trent Dilfer, Rich Gannon, Brad Johnson.
More than that, though. I give it. He's more than a Kirk Cousins right now. He's a guy that he's more mobile than people remember, certainly an accurate guy, but he's just not the next level. He's as good as the everyday running quarterback. And that's, not that he's a running quarterback, but just your everyday at run of the mill, middle of the pack. If everything goes perfect, things will be going.
Exactly. If everything goes perfect for Teddy Bridgewater, but let's, like Jonathan C. says on our YouTube live feed, pump the brakes on Denver.
Yeah.
They played the Giants and the Jags.
That's what I'm saying.
Fair. Yeah,
they are
that's
2-0, and they have played two bad football teams. And I watch that offense, and I go, there's something there, but it's all about their defense. It's all about if the defense doesn't function, they ain't winning a lot of football games because they're not going to be able to score a bunch of points. So I'm going to have them trending down.
Okay, that's fair, I guess. I understand that. But, even though I do see Jonathan's point about it being the Giants and the Jags, Bridgewater's still completing 77% of his passes through two games. And like I say, you play who's in front of you, and the fact that you exceed expectations with the teams in front of you is a really good sign in football in general, but especially the NFL.
Now we start looking at the interesting ones, the ones that have a lot of reasons for and a lot of reasons against. Let's talk about the Arizona Cardinals. Ooh. No team has been more surprising to me than the Cardinals. Offensively, Kyler is fully immersed in Kingsbury's offense. Fully. You feel like they're on the same page, and they don't even have to talk. They both are thinking the same way. That offense is tough. The defense is better than I expected. Are we buying that the Cardinals are a legitimate playoff team?
Yes. I find Kyler Murray to, if nothing else, be the most exciting quarterback in the league. And he backs it up a little bit. And the one thing is, as the more mobile quarterback, I don't think a mobile quarterback can finish a 16-game season, much less a 17-game season. So if Kyler Murray isn't balling out, are the Cardinals going to win a playoff race? I don't know about that, but maybe.
They got to deal with the Rams. We've already said they're a lock to at least get deep.
San Francisco.
And then the 49ers, which is my next one. And, man, it is so easy to get lost in this made-up but real quarterback controversy. It feels made up, but we all know it's real. Garoppolo is a functional quarterback, much like we're talking about with Teddy Bridgewater. Injuries have already started to play a little bit of a role. I don't know how up I am on San Francisco right now.
It was a team that 2 years ago was in the Super Bowl.
But that doesn't feel like the same team anymore.
It has a lot of the same pieces. They've got younger. They've gotten more explosive at running back. Their running game is what it is.
Well, they're down one running back, right?
Mostert's done. But, I mean, they drafted a couple of young guys to come in. They've already had some others that have been there for the long haul. And Deebo Samuel's proving to be quite the explosive weapon for them offensively. I'm not sure if Brandon Ayuk is going to be what they envisioned of him.
2 weeks, no.
But man, Jimmy he doesn't make mistakes. I could see him being the future bridge quarterback for the Houston Texans in that Patriot mentality that they have when they do pull the plug and go to Trey Lance. But even if things get stale, they can rip the Band-Aid off and switch things up. I feel like they've got a chance to really, really be competitive in the NFC.
They could be really good, and be third in their division and not go to the playoffs. They could be really good and end up behind the Rams and Seattle. They could. So, I mean, when we're looking at tough divisions, you look at the NFC West, and it's brutal. I mean, it's just brutal. So we look at these teams, they might be really good, but they might not play a role in the playoffs just so they can't get in. Real quickly, I want to go through the losers. Atlanta, there's no prayer there, right?
No.
0-17 is imminently available to them.
What?
0-17?
Oh.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Imminently available to them. We watched them. I'm not even sure Ryan's going to finish the season. Minnesota, there's enough to win a couple of games, but this is Mike Zimmer's last year, right?
Yeah.
He's done and done. So that goose is cooked. Detroit, they're going to try hard, right? They're 0-2. They're going to try hard. They're going to be the hardest working 4-12.
Oh, they're going to bite some kneecaps.
4-13 team out in the league. Now, the other three are a little bit interesting. The Giants, no.
They're going to be bottom half.
Really?
But they have the benefit of playing Washington twice and the Eagles twice and the NFC least kind of schedule. I'm not buying anything there either.
I think Saquon Barkley is obviously going to get healthier as the year goes on. His workload's going to increase. And they showed Daniel Jones played extremely well against what we all expected was a great Washington defense.
Yeah.
And Chase
you're
Young didn't get the pressure that we expected. I think that Kenny Galladay is a great offensive weapon for them. Kadarius Toney, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton. They've got weapons on offense and they're about to get Evan Ingram back as well.
Ingram is definitely going to help. I'm waiting for his return. Maybe the Giants should trend up just because they are in the NFC East, though. I think that it's not about the talent that they have. It's about their head coach. This a team that doesn't know how to execute. They make dumb mistakes, and I think at the end that's going to get him fired. Jets, they're on the way, but they're nothing there, right?
Zach Wilson needs a couple years.
Yeah. I mean, I think Saleh is on the right path. Everybody's going to be fine with the record they're going to have, and it's not going to be the boobers that we're accustomed to.
I liked what they said. They want Zach Wilson to be okay with being boring because he could do whatever he wanted at BYU, and that is not the case in the NFL.
The Colts. Colts are in trouble, right? That was only 3 years ago. 3 years ago, they had the best GM in football, best offensive line. They had 3 rookies on defense that were killing it.
Andrew Luck.
They had a running game. Mac, at least that point. Now Taylor. That was a good team that is now. And it ain't because of Reich's. I don't think it's Frank Reich's fault. I really don't. I don't think it's Reich's fault. I just can't. It was bad luck.
And on top of that, that bad luck will continue because they have Carson Wentz as their quarterback who has just been plagued with bad luck. The talent's there for Wentz to be a winning quarterback and maybe not an MVP candidate anymore, but somebody who can take you to the potential playoffs and not with 2 sprained ankles. That can last him the rest of the season. Sprained ankles linger if you can't take time to heal them. And he won't be able to. And obviously, if he plays 60% of the snaps, they lose their first-round pick. So they're going to probably keep him out, but try and play him as much as they can. That's a tough situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not going to be easy for anybody in that division.
I don't miss Wentz as my starting quarterback as an Eagles fan, but he is one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league.
You don't pay a guy like that without seeing a lot. But
Is Jacksonville going to win a game?
They'll win a game. It's the NFL.
Maybe.
Somebody will punt. They're going to fall down.
They have looked extremely inept and overmatched in 2 straight weeks against a team that we both all expected to possibly be the worst team in football in the Houston Texans, and they showed that we weren't even close to what they are.
But I will say that I think we aimed a little low with the Texans. I think the narrative we got lost in what want to can do for a team, and that team under Culley, they want to at least. They might not have the ability to do it, but at least they want to.
Yeah, Joe joins us on Facebook Live. He says it's happened to Arizona before where the Cardinals were good and didn't make the playoffs. So, yeah, and that's the thing about the National Football League. Just because you're good doesn't mean you're guaranteed to be one of the teams that gets into it. But we are happy that you're here with us here on Halftime. We got a little T-Wolves drama to get into as we sign off here and send you into the next national programming before the Roop Up tonight, the Blitz. And then afterwards, you might be able to catch James Pledger to get a selfie with him here on San Antonio Sports Star. Keep it tuned in, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM.
We've got your free tickets to see every Dallas Cowboys home game all season long. Register to win now at sasportstar.com. Cheer on America's team on your home for Cowboys football. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM. ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It was an up-and-down evening for the Texas MLB teams. The New York Yankees completed their sweep of the Texas Rangers last night with a 7-3 victory. Isaiah Kenner-Falefa finished 2 of 4 from the plate with an RBI, while Taylor Hearn got the start, allowing 3 runs off 4 hits in 5 1/3 innings pitched. The Houston Astros took Game 3 of their series against the Angels 9-5 in 12 innings. 4 runs in the 12th sealed the deal for Houston, pushing their magic number to make the playoffs to 2. Yordan Alvarez went 3 of 4 from the plate with 3 runs brought in and 2 runs scored, plus a home run on the game. Those are your baseball headlines. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Carl Schoening.
Don't go through the fall months with that joint pain. Call QC Kinetics now. Regenerative Solutions are here bringing lasting relief from joint pain with no downtime, no surgery, no steroids. QC Kinetics uses natural biologic therapies that restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, shoulders, hips, and back. Patients here are raving about the results. Hey, it's James Pledger with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, you don't have to live with that chronic pain, and don't think surgery is your only option. Call QC Kinetics now and learn more about these exciting natural alternatives. You've heard football legend Emmitt Smith talk about QC Kinetics. Now it's time to see what this is all about. Fall is the time to enjoy life to the fullest. Act now. Restorative, regenerative therapies are available here, and the in-office consultation is free. Locations in Hollywood Park and Westover Hills. Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. Non-surgical joint pain relief, 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318.
Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
Join us for this year's online Thomas J. Henry Bark in the Park Pet Costume Contest. This is an online pet costume contest with big cash prizes up to $2,500. Starting October 4th, visit bark.tjhlaw.com and upload photos of your pet in costume. Then share with friends on social media, vote, and win great prizes. All entry fees go directly to local pet rescues. For more info and to enter the contest, visit bark.tjhlaw.com.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
Before you fire up that grill, you know you need to get into Tri-County Meat Market. Hi, Jason Minix here. Tri-County Meat Market is locally owned and full service. They have everything you need: beef, chicken, pork, fajitas, poppers, and more. They have great weekly specials, and of course, their Pick 5 for $25. Tri-County Meat Market offers a 10% discount for military and first responders. They have 2 great locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Heavener. Check out their website. That's tricountymeat.com.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
They played 162 games for a shot at this, the MLB postseason, where you're just one pitch, one hit closer to the World Championship. We've got you covered on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
San Antonio's home for sports talk is right here. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It's halftime. Potentially the final episode ever of halftime that I'm on, because my girlfriend just texted me that she bought some lottery tickets.
Yes, sir.
If we win the lottery, I'm actually coming in here to gloat, and then I'm getting on a private jet to L.A. I am buying the G5.
Is the drawing tonight or is it tomorrow?
It's tonight.
It's tonight.
I think it's Tuesday, Thursday for Powerball or Pick'em. One of them. I don't know. She got them. All I know is I've seen the billboard, something in the 400 millions.
I thought I'd seen both. Were in the 400.
Both of them. Mm-hmm.
We were talking in the break. What would you do, or where would you go? I wouldn't gloat.
I'd be here.
I know. The fact is, I actually believe James.
Oh, you would buy the station.
James would be here.
No,
you'd move in here. You'd relocate to a nice area. I'm messing with you.
I would be a rumor. I would be. They would just like, whatever happened to Rob? I don't know. He was here on Thursday and Friday. Didn't call in. It's been 5 years. Haven't seen him. Don't have any idea. I would be in the wind, man.
I need things to do with myself. I can't handle downtime very
I have
well.
plenty to do.
And I would because I love what I do in the first place anyway. So
that's true. But and you also don't have to wake up at 5:30 in the morning. And there's something about the cushy afternoon shift that you got.
The cushy PM shift.
Oh, yeah. My cushy PM shift.
I'm just messing with you. Jonathan C. says, great show, guys. We don't see Carl tomorrow. We know he's on the Bahamas playing Pokemon Go. And Don says, lotto tickets need to be buying wrestling tickets. That's right. Wrestling tickets.
We're going to be giving away those tickets tomorrow. The Dog Pound Dojo presents Strictly Business. It'll be going on at the beautiful, historic Woodlawn Gym over on Cincinnati Saturday. First match gets going a little after 7 at 7:30. That's the bell time. There are going to be lots of matches, a battle royale. You got Ring of Honor types. You got former world champions in the form of Jazz. She was with WWE. We went out there yesterday, Carl and I did. It was a lot of fun. So tomorrow morning on R&R, a little after 9 o'clock, We're going to talk with a couple of guys from the Dog Pound Dojo, and we'll have some tickets for you. But I'll tell you, we want you to go one way or another. If you can't win the tickets, you can buy them. $20 for your VIP seats, $10 for GA. Hey, it's going to be a lot of fun. We had a good time there last night.
We had a lot of fun. We didn't get to the rumors going on with the Timberwolves, but they're out an executive that even maybe said that Cat was on Twitter saying WTF, and there was even somebody who wanted to catch up and make some news. Under 1,000 followers, Karl Anthony Towns has asked for a trade. Yeah, that rumor is not going to be likely, but if it is, you can make sure that we'll be following it on halftime. Next week, NBA regular season comes up, but hey, same channel, same place tomorrow at noon. I've been Carl Schoening. He's Rob Thompson. He's James Pledger. Thank y'all for tuning in to halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM.
Get the latest scores from all varsity sports and all the schools in the 210 anytime at 210varsity.com. Sponsored by the San Antonio Express News. While you're at the game on Friday nights, upload photos and videos to your school's page.
No way.
Plus, check out game schedules and more. 210varsity.com. From the Express News and San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
O'Reilly. Get more miles on the road with O'Reilly Auto Parts. A clean fuel system means better gas mileage for